Alright, hello everyone, this is Sado, and I'm about to show you the second final game of RandTour 2023 tournament organized by Thunder. The teams in this game are W33 and Mithrellas against Grossmeister and Rita de Stores. I will not spoil the result of the first game yet because I intend to show you a replay of the first one in a while, because we're still waiting for everyone to make the base to make the first buildings in the bases anyway. So we have some time for a recap, especially that the first game I wasn't able to show it. So unless you watched the stream made by Grandpa, then you might have not noticed. So yeah, let's wait maybe a minute before I show you the game. The first game. Oops. How this? Yeah. Okay. Right. Is it the one I'm looking for? Yeah. Okay. So let's start with the replay. Okay, so it seems like they played Silverhaven in the first game, and actually now I think of it, I might need to do something to make it obvious what I'm doing right now. That looks lovely. Let's spice it up and change the color a bit. Yeah, now it looks terrible. Alright, how about this one? Yeah, that works. Okay, so let's take a look with extend speed at how the bases looked like here. And we'll come back to the final game as soon as possible. So it seems like they played W33 and Mithrellas on the left side. Mithrellas, I have said it many times during this tournament, it's a really tricky location that he played back then. But it's also very interesting the way he builds here. I didn't know it was possible. I kind of forgot that it's possible to take this one. And that definitely makes things a bit easier for him. So this is a nice decision in my opinion so far. On the right side we've got Gross and Ritter. I have a feeling that the timings are a bit bad for Ritter and I don't get why. He had to make a lot of rolls. These stonemasons are pretty ridiculous, I gotta say. But in the long term, they will work very well, I think, because of both that he's taking the fact that he's taking from stone from two mountains, and also the fact that they are quite nicely spread throughout the city. So there's a chance that for the buildings built on the top, they will use these ones, and the bottom ones will be used for the bottom, for the south of the city. But this is theory, I guess. We'll see if it works in practice. W33 had... oh yeah, maybe let's take a look at the iron production. Seems like W33 was the best by far with his iron mountains, with his iron mines, I mean. So this looks fine. Pretty nice farms as well, I'd say. I like the way Gross is building. Obviously he's got a very big location and the iron production is a bit tough to do here. One nice thing about it is that he's got plenty of space for it, and it's like a no-brainer how to build on this luck. I mean, you just make farms here because you have to do something along the way to the iron, and then you just make their production and pick farms on the left. It's very obvious how to build here. Although I'm not sure if I agree with the choice of making... ah wait, but he's got 6 stonemasons. That's pretty good actually. Okay, so yeah, that's working well. He definitely needs them. Look at the amount of roads he needs. Looking at the amount of farms we've got... Let's stop this for a while. We've got 36 minutes, so we've got 4... Oh, we can actually do this. We've got 6 farms from Gross. And give me a second because I have to advertise. Was I lagging? Okay, never mind. Alright, sorry. So we have 7 farms from retail at this point, and a bit less here. 6 is fine. 6 is fine as well. But one of these is pretty late, I'd say. Yeah, so maybe... Yeah, retail had 7, but slightly... Yeah, I mean, it's all pretty even, I'd say, right now. So, and there's a little problem maybe with... Oh no, but there's a nice decision by Rita to focus on the mountain at the east and just make their production like here. Maybe later branch out to the north of his city. I think this should work alright-ish. Especially with the amount of coal here. It's pretty ridiculous that we've got 3 coal spots on this luck. I think his idea is not that bad to play it out, but we'll see how the troops on the peacetime look like. I really love the way Mithrellas is building on this lock. I didn't even know that this location can work so well. I mean, I thought it's a pretty bad luck, but I still don't know what kind of army he can make for peacetime. I mean, 13 minutes could be a bit better with iron, but I think it's alright-ish. He just needs he has like 10 minutes to make the weapons, so we'll see how he manages to do that. Those who are wondering why are we watching a replay, we're watching a replay because I didn't show this game yet, and I wanted to give you a glimpse of how the first game looked like before we look at the cities in the second game, which is live right now. And only 3 minutes left in the replay from the first game. I can already see some pretty nice armies, and oh, there's one problem here, by the way. Interesting. Okay. Here goes the slowdown button. 9. And let's take a look at the peacetime armies from the first game. As I said, it's the first game, it's a replay, in case you couldn't notice its post right now. So yeah. So yeah, we've got Mithrellas with 8 horses, 10 so yeah, 8 horses. For this location, the iron is pretty cool, I'd say. He managed to do what he wanted to do, like he has enough weapons, so that's nice. About 43 leather units, but 38 is not a great number of recruits. Sorry, maybe let's compare this to liter. Whoa! How is that possible? Seems like there's a bug in the replay, cause like in the replay interface, cause actually what the hell? Okay, seems like you have to have a game running to be able to choose a building. That's really funny. Okay, so but still, it's pretty close. 30, maybe only slightly. Yeah, the iron is pretty similar, I'd say. Yeah, the armies are pretty similar as well. The only difference is that Mithrellas has like 20 something recruits less. Now let's take a look at W33. Whoa, that would be a massive army if he had more recruits. It's still massive. I mean, okay, maybe not exactly. He lacks about 10 swords. He has 7 horses. He lacks no, he doesn't lack leather weapons. It's only a few, but that's not a problem. And 60 recruits, should have a bit more, but this is still a ridiculous army. And yeah, looks really good. Then you take a look at Gross and wonder what the hell did go wrong here. 22 bows, this is a disaster. So I'd say it's even-ish. And I would put my money on the left side here. Let's take a look what happened after peacetime. In the meantime, in the current game, we've got 20 minutes into the game, so we'd better do it really quick and just see the big fights. The fact that's not helping is that the first game took like 30 minutes after peacetime, so there's gonna be at least 2 fights, I guess. Let's see what happens. There's a lot of shooters from Eliter. Whoa. You can see that the production actually scales quite well for Gross so far. How is W33 doing? I mean, I'm not sure I can say that there's a big difference between them now. It looked like that at start, but I still think that Gross has more Bowman and W33 probably a bit more ladder. A bit more melee. Ritter has, yeah, definitely more bows on the right side, although mainly on the at the top, because actually I was wrong. W33 has a similar amount to Gross. There should be a fight soon, I guess. Let's hope I don't miss it. Some maneuvers from the top, interesting. The armies are huge though, so whoever attacks, they're screwed, I guess. And seems like Mithrellas will try to attack, but he loses a lot of bows, and they both are trying to play it safe. Mithrellas lost a lot of his horses. They really need to start fighting somewhere, anywhere. I think, yeah, they're opening another front. This is ridiculous. Everyone trying to gain advantage on the enemy, but it really doesn't work so far. Looks like it was a camp fest. No, not a single big fight. Okay, there we go. W33 trying something. Everyone kinda dying. That's a... I'm kinda happy that I didn't stream this game in real time, because you can just see how that was pretty disastrous camp fest. We can see right now that yeah, at this moment you can see Mithrellas will lose for sure. W33 is changing front, however, from both sides. So, like, even if with Mithrellas losing all his troops, I think they still have quite a chance, given how much melee W33 has, but he doesn't take back this, and I believe this is a critical mistake. He's not trying to engage this either, which was another mistake, because they just kept shooting to his troops. But it looks like on the top, Mithrellas won massively. So it's pretty interesting what happens next, but Gross has a lot of troops, and they might not survive this. Yeah, that looks pretty bad. And now they attacked from behind. Yeah, we can already guess how it went later, indeed. So it was GG, and the first game was won by Grossmeister and Ritter de Stodes. So let's speed it up a bit until the end of the replay, but it's pretty obvious what happened there. Well, there was a slight chance now that you can see many of these troops were pretty hungry, so they had to walk in, but you can see that it was GG. Alright, should have looked maybe at the stat screen, but we've got a game to show which is going on right now, so let's switch back to that. Actually, let's go like this. Alright, so that's a bit too loud maybe. So we've got the second final game going on, and we're almost 30 minutes into the game, so we'll have to do a bit of catch up, but I believe this is a bit better than joining in and starting since the first minute. So yeah, let's take a look. At the first look, but by the way, let's start by explaining how the teams look like. So we've got W33 and Mithrellas on the top, and Ritter with Grossmeister in the bottom right corner. Please note that the rules allow to choose locations like this. It's even if it's recommended to keep a location gap, one location of a gap between both teams, it's only a recommendation. And frankly speaking, in this case, I think it's pretty fine because this lacks. I mean, if it was 1 and 2, for example, obviously it would be a terrible idea. But between 5 and 6, it works pretty well. Right, so maybe starting with Grossmeister actually first. Let's go first here. You can see this is a huge location, but I think he's also trying to do it in a proper way. He made the shortcuts around the entire mountain. Maybe I would consider making a road slightly closer to the mountain though, but this still works, I guess. One thing I don't like very much is this building here, the inn. It's a pretty critical spot for his base. There's gonna be a lot of movement right here. So an inn in this spot is not the best idea. But he still will have a possibility to make a shortcut like there. And that might work. Anyway, the city doesn't look that bad so far. He'll definitely have a lot of space, but the question is whether he can maintain this such a big base easily. Seems like he wants to make a lot of farms on the bottom here. Kinda seems like he wants to scatter his buildings around the base, which is really good, but I mean, if he makes timings work alright, I think it might work. So yeah, let's take a look at Mithrellas maybe. Okay, classic 6 farms built so far. He'll definitely make more later, but for now he tries to keep it somewhat small. Obviously it's a bit tricky here to make iron production because it's a bit ridiculous of a setup here. He's going to have a bit of a problem. Wait, but these coal mines are actually for the gold smelters, so it's alright. Would be nice to have an alternate route here, but it's not a top priority. Would definitely be nice to, like in the long term, use this space for some buildings, keep it a bit smaller, you know, and make some sort of setup with the roads here, similar to what Grossmeister has around this mountain. I would still say that for now, I think this works well. This is a pretty good way of building a base on this lake. Right. Let's take a look at W33 again. So yeah, it seems like he wants to build the farms on the right. Maybe most of the buildings on the left. This will kind of work, although he has a lot of trees being planted on the left side of his city. I'm wondering if he wants to fell only if he wants to set this woodcutter to fell only at some point of time, because this one is set like this. Because eventually he's going to need all that space for buildings, I guess. Right. Maybe let's take a look at Retail's base. This is a bit unfortunate if they don't want to dig this out. But I think he already fixed it with yeah, we've got a proof of that with these roads here. I remember I might have had the same issue on that lake actually. But stone masons aside, I like the base so far. It's somewhat compact, as much as you can make it on that lake, I guess. You need a lot of space, and this location does not give you enough. Mm. Okay. There's plenty of roads already, so it should have a good what's it called? Should have good road system already, and there should be no traffic jams, or at least a little only. Kind of a necessary traffic jam here with all the iron gathered here. Still, if I were him, I would probably make an alternative route like there. Although it wouldn't help too much, I'm afraid. Probably rather needs to try and shift the city to the left side somehow. It will be tricky because there's not really space for more buildings. I mean, it's a bit unfortunate that he's got an inn right here. As you can see, well, basically, there's only like these two roads connecting the bottom of the city with the rest, and that's part of the problem. There's also a similar spot in the storehouse, I guess, although they should be able to go like here. I mean, yeah, exactly. It doesn't look like that, maybe, but it will work. So there's actually like 1, 2, 3, 4 roads here, but only 2 in this spot, which is a bit of a bummer. Yeah, you can see that Gross decided to make the road I was talking about a few minutes ago. How does it look so far? It's hard to say for me at the moment how does the iron production look like for everyone. Although, yeah, seems like Mithrellas is the furthest. I still think Retail is probably a bit better with his iron production because he's got a lot of iron ore in his storehouse. There's plenty here as well, but I believe Mithrellas is slightly behind him. But there's also Gross. Yeah, so it looks like the bottom team actually is a bit better with the iron production right now. When you take a look, but okay, I wanted to say that the top has a bit harder iron, but that's not exactly true. It's pretty balanced actually. Especially when you take a look at the detailed space, he had a quite a bit of a road to go to the top that he had to build. So yeah, okay, let me just check something. Yeah, that should work. Right. So we got 20 minutes till peacetime. I need a short break. Back. And I'm back. Okay, so he's got a bit of a traffic jam here. Trying to make a few buildings at the right without having a really proper shortcut here anywhere. Plus he's got to go through the school. Yeah, I think it's only temporary. Yeah. This road is pretty... Yeah, see, that's the problem with making farms in such a spot. Okay, so the problem is that if you do something like this, maybe even a double road wouldn't be the worst idea, because it's really hard for the serfs to like overtake each other on such a road, and there's a few spots like this. I mean, basically, they can't really take an alternate way either, because there's no shortcut which will let them go like here from there, for example. And you can have a lot of movement there, as you can see. I'm wondering why though, because I expected that only iron would be transferred from the bottom. But you also produce the weapons and you go like here. Yeah, so the most of the movement to the barrack will go through this route. So this is a bit bad. I would make a road like this if I were Mithrellas. That would help a little bit. Obviously, that would leave us with like half of the problem at the bottom. But there's some places he could make extra road tiles, and I believe this could make it a bit better. Yeah, anyway, let's take a look at Theater now, and yeah, the base seems almost complete. Oh, his armor production is going to be pretty nice, I think. Perhaps he could even try to have 35 Solomon peacetime. Although I'm a bit worried. Oh, yeah, that's a lot of serfs. 90 serfs! How does he plan to feed them? Oh yeah, mill. That might work, yeah. But why does he need so many? Yeah, I mean, yeah, he can definitely take the other lake. Not the worst idea. But he will also need to make more than 7 farms, I'm pretty sure of it. And I'm not sure if this was intentional because having... Oh, hold on. I need to restart this thing because it's cut off again. How does it even work? Like this, okay. That does work. Right, he's making 2 more farms here and that's a good idea. You can even try to fit some here. Shouldn't be too hard. But he should also find some time to make towers, so I guess that's what he's going to do first. Especially that it's going to be the main front of the game. His location. Right, W33, a pretty lovely base. Mostly working well. See, he's got a pretty similar problem theoretically as Mithrellas, but there's a bit more space and there's an alternate route in the mountain. Like, when you take a look at this layout, and you see a lot of buildings around the mountain, but they don't really have another road here, for example, and there's like no way to make this the serfs movement spread through this, well, at the moment this is a bit more cluttered than in Mithrellas' base, but I believe this is a bit better in the long run. Although I would probably make another shortcut here, but maybe it's not a big deal because there's not a lot of movement from top to bottom in this area, because these buildings just don't need it. They would just go like here or maybe here, yeah. So yeah. Shortcut here would be nice though. But mostly okay, I guess. What about the Grossmeister? Yes, the base is pretty much complete, although you can see he can still make a few farms if he wishes so. The buildings are spread really in a really weird way in this base, and it's definitely not small. So he needs 90 serfs, that's probably going to work. With 7 farms only, I would make a few more than he's doing that, so he should be alright in some time, I guess. Yeah, but his butcher is pretty busy, and if he makes a second one and a few more farms, I think he's going to be alright. I wanted to issue is that he doesn't have a lot of leather at the moment. I estimate he's going to have about 30 leather on peacetime, perhaps less. Okay, let's take a look at Mithrellas. Mithrellas has pretty nice leather already, and you can see he's gonna have about 40, maybe 45 on peacetime. Lacks a few, but only a few wooden weapons. I think it's going to be fine, probably. Whoa, okay. Ah, but he has 5 sawmills. Yeah, he's going to be okay. He should definitely have about 40 leather units, 40 bowmen I mean. The situation regarding the iron weapons is a bit more grim. I really don't think that 5 coal mines are going to work with 5 buildings here. So that's a bit of a mistake. Perhaps he should have put one of these buildings on the top of the city. Like you can see, this weaponsmith seems... Oh, no, wait, never mind. It seems alright, I guess. Okay, so this is going to be our 3 versus 1 and 2 versus... Right, that's gonna work. Yeah, it's interesting to see that he's not even trying to make more farms. It would be tricky but possible, I guess. Maybe here. It's a bit weird position, but... yeah. He may try to expand here later, but for now he really needs those towers to at least help him a bit. I mean, he'll have another army, I guess, but maybe the towers are not as crucial, but it would still be pretty nice to have them here. Yep, these shortcuts are not the worst idea. Although he already has the ones that he needed. Like I said, the only bottleneck he can't really fix is what he has here. Maybe a road like here as well would be nice. It would give them some opportunity to... Yeah, but the worst thing about it all is probably that there's no road in this spot. It would help already a lot. Okay, 2 minutes, so let's take a look at W33 and retail first. W33 versus retail. So yeah, the same amount of horses pretty much. Oh wait, this is tough to count. 30, 60, 103, which gives us 103, that would be 12. That gives us 34, if I count correctly. So yeah, a bit worse than retail, that's for sure. About 8 weapons worse when it comes to iron. 5, 37, 40, yeah, well, a bit better for retail, yeah, in general. So yeah, we've got retail with a slightly better army, and then we've got Mithrellas with slightly better army. Yeah, much better actually. Wait, is it? Nah, iron is better for Grossmeister. Oh, but then leather is way better for Mithrellas. How had the recruits? Same amount of recruits for W33 and retail, and for Mithrellas and Gross. Yeah, so the leather production is way better, and Mithrellas has horses, something that Gross doesn't. Actually, I have to say that Grossmeister base right now, it's pretty disappointing for such a player, although he played the hardest location for sure. One, let's look at W33 and retail. Okay, so we've got slight advantage for the retail against W33, and quite big advantage for Mithrellas against Grossmeister. That's a pretty interesting one. Okay, I think I'll probably take my time too. So be right back. Okay, I'm back. Uh, uh, I know I'm probably repeating myself after the last stream, but I feel I need to point this out really clearly because I feel that the voice of the players, because that's not only my opinion, was ignored by tournament organizers in the last couple of tournaments. So let me say that again. Uh, I do not think it's a brilliant idea to play more than one game in the final. And now I was reading the rules. It says that it should be played in a row, like 3 games in a row per one day. This is overkill. Like I I'm fine with 3 games in the end. Like I can do this, okay. But if you ever expect a streamer to stream 3 games in a row, then you have no idea what you're talking about. You can make 2 sometimes, okay, but yeah, let's please avoid that kind of thing in the future. If you really have to have 3 games, definitely not on the same day. And I'm actually happy to see that the finalists didn't go that way. And I would also avoid the 3 games instead of one in the final, but because like from what I heard, the community didn't enjoy that idea that much. But that's another story. So with that being pointed out, we can probably go back to the game and focus on that. So yeah, it looks like teams are pretty even, although slightly better army from the top. Actually, I mean, yeah, it's like we've got a little difference for the Ritter against W33 and a huge difference for Mithrellas against Gross. So I expect that. Oh, this is interesting, by the way. Can he see it? I wonder. I mean, I wonder if Mithrellas can notice how desperate that move is. Because, I mean, right, this tower isn't going to stop Mithrellas anyway, but this space could be easily taken by the towers. I'm not even sure I would make them here, because they'll always be protected by Grossmeister, and if, like, I would definitely try to make the top team engaged here, because this is just bad for the top team to fight here, unless they try from both sides at the same time. But if you have towers here, it's a bit harder here. So yeah, I would probably skip these two and make them on the top instead, but I digress. It seems like Ritter is going to try and separate Mithrellas from W33. This is probably a good idea. If I was W33, I would probably not show my army too early and try to take this front, because I'm really afraid that at some point of time Gross will simply switch fronts and just attack with Ritter. That's what I would probably do in this situation. He's going back a bit. He might try to attack right now. Yep, that's what I think is going to happen. He goes in blind. No, he doesn't go in blind though. I don't think he will do this actually, although he has a lot more troops. Yeah, he might actually attack. Gross will move into block, and this might be a very fast first fight actually. But Mithrellas is pretty close to his own towers, so I think he's got it. At this point, I don't really think Ritter can touch him. It's not going to be as easy as he would like, though. At least, I mean. Alright, let me see the chat, because... Oh, yeah, I thought I didn't do this. Okay. Sorry, I was supposed to show you this. But we've got two fights going on, and it may be a bit tricky to show them. Let me see, my FPS doesn't lag out. Alright, so we've got a fight on the top. And we've got some preparations on the bottom. This is a bit of a scam from... yeah, let's observe this one first, because I can't do both at once. It seems like Mithrellas will win this one. So let's switch here. But it's 50-50, but I would give Mithrellas benefit of the doubt. Here I'm not so sure. It looks pretty weird. I would say Gross will... Yeah, Gross will probably lose. Whoa, okay, Mithrellas almost won. So he's gonna be fine. Let's take a look here again. Okay, that's gonna be a swift one. How many minutes? 4? Okay. That's a quick GG. Ritter is still fighting. Okay, it's a bit closer than I thought on the top though. Yeah, Mithrellas has to go back a bit, but he's really close to winning. And given that W33 won, they can just crush. Yeah, Mithrellas should go out, definitely. And just crush him here. Don't let him get away. And Grossmeister can't do anything because he doesn't have any melee left. This should be a quick one, but they have to act right now. But it's already a bit late because... Oh yeah, I think he will sacrifice these horses to make a catch. Yeah, that's what I would do, but he doesn't risk it. Thankfully for them, Ritter doesn't have any towers, so they can just walk in. Do they know it? Kind of. Okay. They waited until they can join the troops. And Gross doesn't know what to do, really. And he doesn't have army to do that. So, yeah, right now it looks like the top will win easily and swiftly, but... well, I think this was maybe not a critical mistake because the game is probably already lost, but a big mistake to go to the left. But we'll see what happens soon, I guess. Doesn't look that great for the top. I mean, oh maybe, yeah, they should probably be fine. They should just block this and advance here. I mean, I'm not sure if this is a good decision because this can't hurt them. And Rita isn't shooting. He definitely should start doing that because this position is a bit tricky. Okay, seems like they're playing it safe, but I think it would be a bit safer if he used these bows here. But they have such an advantage that it's not going to matter anyway. They should probably call it GG soon. But at least, yeah, GG. At least they made it interesting by making it possible to see a third game here. I would say there was no camping, that was nice, but the fights were a bit lacking for the final. But we've got a draw, 1-1, and I guess we'll have to see the third game. I don't know when it's going to be played yet. I'll try to maybe... Okay, I don't think it's going to be played right now, so I guess that's it from me. As I said, W33 and Mithrellas had a bit better army than their opponents, and I would say it was a bit weird to see Rita so aggressive and going into the towers pretty much. It makes me think, at least looking at this particular game, that like he definitely didn't show his best fighting skills. Obviously, it's hard to show the fighting skills when you always have more than the enemy. So maybe this is a bit of a problem for him. But well, at least in this case, definitely it wasn't the best decision. He took a great risk and pretty much lost it all. Although it was, I mean, it was pretty even. I would even say if Grossmeister didn't lose so much against W33, then the top would be pretty much fine. So Ritter would actually be able to join with Gross and attack the top, but I think maybe they should have camped a bit and waited until Gross's city starts working better, because I had a feeling that his city was a bit of a, yeah, you can actually see it here, a bit of a late game one. Yeah, definitely. So, a funny thing though, Mithrellas had a way less iron than the others. Whoa, look at that. This is the difference you have when you make the iron work like Mithrellas did. Didn't have enough coal on the bottom, I think. Yeah, it might have been it. So yeah, it was not great, definitely, but it worked in the end. That's all that matters. So 1-1, and we will have to wait for the third game to figure out who wins this tournament. So thanks for watching me today, and